I got a text. Podcast listeners, I've noticed. I always point the wrong way. It's up. The
Yeah,
recording
it's over
thing's up.
there.
I was really happy. I was like, I'm going to get my car back on Wednesday. I had direct visits on Wednesday, so I wasn't going to be in the depot. So I had another guy at the depot primed and ready to hand the car over, to hand the courtesy car back, get my car back.
Yeah.
He was all good. He was happy with it. He was like, I've got you, Gav, you're fine. And he had, like, I've got two phones at the moment. So I've got my phone, I've got another phone, both ring when I'm rung. So I gave him the spare phone so that if they rang me and were like, we can't find you, everything was organized. It's all sorted. I had all my ducks in a row. Brilliant. The guy got the car up on the ramp, took it apart, went to put it back together, found out that the subframe's bent. So this was the funny conversation, because the woman called me up and went, hey, we're not delivering your car on Wednesday, at which point I almost wept. Because I was like, I literally didn't hold back emotion. At the end of the phone call, she went, yeah, we're really sorry, it'll be another couple of weeks. And I went, I just want my car back.
Yeah.
I just want it back. And she said that basically they are stuck at the moment because, as per the insurance estimate, they have 3 weeks to turn the car around. So it comes in 3 weeks later, it's got to be back.
Right.
Because otherwise they don't get money for the insurance. Every week over 4 weeks, they get fined by my insurance company, because basically it works on like estimates and then how much it actually costs. So when they submit an estimate, let's say your car broke down and I said, okay, it's cost 150 quid to fix. If I cost you 200 quid, then the insurance company will go, okay, you're within a certain percentage, we'll pay that. But as soon as it goes over that, the insurance won't pay for it. You have to pay for it yourself. Right. So they are now like, my car is causing them trouble, because not only have they had it for 6 weeks, which is double the allocated time, but now one of the guys brought it up on the ramp, and how it's been explained to me is because he's taken it apart and he's taken this part off, because the part is damaged, he can't put it back on the car.
Right, because it's damaged.
Yeah, so that part is part that you need to put the wheels back on the car.
So they now have to wait to get this new part in.
Yeah, so currently that guy can't work because my car is in his bay. So
That's
he's stuck. He can't actually work until he gets my car fixed. Because he brought it up in the air, took this part off, and then realized and was like, well, that's just in front of me now.
He can't work on other cars while he waits?
No, because they've only got one lift that raises the car up and down.
Oh, God.
I just want my car back. By the way, it's like the world is torturing me.
They can't put it on a trailer or something and put it
No, because the rear end has nothing to sit on.
Or just get some bricks.
No, because that would technically further damage the car, which they're not allowed to do.
Put a jack underneath it.
Do you know what, though? Do you know that's the most annoying thing was? That, so guys with nice cars like to have a play. So if I'm driving along and there's a guy in a 911, me and him will have a little bit of I'll accelerate past him, he'll accelerate past me, and you kind of look at the guy and go, we're having a bit of fun. And that's great. But when I was driving home tonight, it was a beautiful sunshiny day, not a cloud in the sky, Jared.
Wow.
Beautiful day.
Are you sure you were in the UK?
Yes.
Wow.
It was still cold, but it was pretty. It's the difference.
Yeah, I mean, that happens all the time here.
Yeah. And I pulled onto the A1M. The outside lane was clear. And normally what would happen is some people in fast cars would sprint by and I'd go, ooh, friends, and go and get them. And a Porsche, a 911 flew past, a BMW flew past, and then a Mazda MX-5 flew past, and I thought I could go and have some fun with them. Dropped a gear in this Corsa they've given me, and it basically just went... Bleh. Acceleration. Oh, we should accelerate. And they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I quickly realized that even if I pulled up behind them, they wouldn't look behind and go, oh, this guy's in a bit of a fun car. He wants to have a play. They'd look and go, why is this dickhead in a Corsa behind us?
Yeah, because you're in a Peugeot.
I hate it. I've never hated a thing more. Every day I get in it and I'm just like, this is not my car. It is the complete opposite of the spectrum of my car. Anyway, should we do
well, I get into my mom's Prius to drive her around, and I'm like, this is the opposite of what I would say enjoying driving is like.
It's like some cars are literally from getting you from A to B, and then there's other cars that are like A to B is the fun bit.
Yeah. The journey's actually interesting.
Yeah.
Now, for my Audi, because it's from 2004, the journey is always interesting, but not always for a positive reason. Because, you know, a tire just decides to wobble a bit, and I'm like, don't like that. But, anyways, welcome to Better Luck Next Week. We are here. It's a bit of a slow show today, but that's why we've got another quiz on later.
Mm-hmm.
So the quiz master will be returning once more.
Yeah.
But there's still a couple of things to talk about. We'll have a rules debate later on about the NHL because there's been some more just controversial travesty going on then. We've got wonderful news from women's hockey, but we'll start with the NFL like we always do. And the biggest story right now is Russell Wilson. Because it's gone kind of quiet on the Deshaun Watson front right now. So Russell Wilson has taken this moment to go, yes, my turn for attention. And so there's 4 potential trade destinations for him to go, I guess, or at least that's where Russell Wilson's camp has said they'd be interested in going. And so that includes the Miami Dolphins, the New York Jets, for some reason, the New Orleans Saints, and the Oakland Raiders, or Vegas Raiders.
I have a couple of things that I scratch my head on with this. I don't get I can get so the problem is I can get players going. I don't want to go to these places, but I don't get saying it publicly. And I also don't get the whole, because I mean, we're at a point now where there are very few teams that had the same quarterback as they did last year.
Pretty few, yeah. I mean, I don't think this was said publicly by Russell or his camp. This was likely leaked because they would have had a meeting behind closed doors with Wilson and his agent and the management team of the Seahawks, and it's probably been leaked by a source that these are the 4 teams that are in the conversation of where he wants to go.
But one, where do you define having the conversation? And 2, I think from another standpoint, you kind of have to look at this and start going, well, we've got to apply some logic here, guys. Because I've got so many people that I know that go, oh, well, he's definitely going here, or he's definitely going there. Or you have the people that are taking JJ tweeting things as this is what team he's going to go to.
Set in stone truth, right?
Yeah. I just don't see it with a lot of these different teams. I think that for me, this is purely a way of Russell renegotiating his contract because the Seahawks weren't that bad last year.
Well, the problem with the Seahawks is that they don't have any sort of pass protection. Like he's been out of the last 9 years, which has been his stint in Seattle.
Yeah.
He's been sacked the most, has some of the least amount of time to make passes.
This is true.
And still manages to get the Seahawks to the level that they have been at the last 9 years under Russell Wilson. So I get it because
but
he's just
maybe
being abused. Like,
why is the logic that I can understand from? So the thing for me is that the Seattle have a winning culture. They have a team around him because they have a decent defense at the moment. They have their offense is building now. Okay, yes, the offensive line isn't great, but that is
right. And it's been built. The off. You say the offense has been building, but it's been building for 9 years since they got him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I can completely see what you're saying.
Yeah. I'm a bit with Wilson here, where he's getting older. He just got an MVP.
Where else is he go? If those are what were the 4 teams again?
I mean, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Saints, and the Raiders. The Dolphins, I don't know. I mean, they have Tua, so I don't know why you would bring in Wilson.
The Dolphins are a no.
Yeah, I would say no to the Dolphins. The Jets are. Well, I don't know why you would even consider the Jets. There's no. You're not winning there at all. There's not a chance.
Right, no.
The Saints, I think, might be the best option because you still have a decent team around. You still had a decent enough team around Drew Brees.
Yeah. I can get that.
And Wilson's probably going to cost. I'm not sure what his contract is. I think Wilson is a little bit less than
the 25 million mark
than Brees.
Yeah.
So you have a bit. If you bring in Wilson, then so he's under contract through till 2023 on a deal that averages 35 million per, but it gradually increases in terms of cap hit. So it was 31 million this year, 32 million next year, 37 million in 2022, and 39 million in 2023.
So this is the problem.
That's going to be unattractive to a team like the Saints as the problem.
I would say, really, in reality, that the Saints, off the back of losing Drew Brees,
they still might do it.
I would say that from the Saints' point of view, you put Jameis Winston in because he's fucking cheap, and he's not
that bad.
And he's not that bad. And then you try and trade up in the draft and get a young guy to go under him. Right. But this is the problem. This is what's going to happen with so many teams is QB contracts have been going up and up. And they've been going up and up for guys that both me and you have sat down and gone, why has that person got paid that? We've both had that conversation. And now there's guys that are going to take up so much of a cap hit next year because the cap is set at 180 million.
It's not going up.
Not going up. It's not going up until next year at least. So now there's teams like the Chiefs that have been smart where their contract is structured with Patrick where they go, by the end of your contract, we have to have paid you 250 million. Mm-hmm. And that means that next year they can go, you're getting 10 million. And then when the cap goes back up, they can go, okay, Patty, we'll sort this out. We'll bring it up and stuff like that. But teams like the Steelers, Big Ben's contract hit next year is 40 million.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, I think we saw it was 41. So for me, I think there's a lot of QBs going, oh, I'm going to get myself traded.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams going, where? Because you've got to look at these trade situations pragmatically. You've got to look at when people say, I want to go somewhere and win. You've got to look at and go, okay, well, what teams does that actually qualify? If I'm taking myself seriously, that's a team that made the playoffs last year. And if I'm really serious about it, that's a team that made the playoffs last year and went deep into the playoffs. So there's only really about 4 teams there that you're talking about.
Yeah, and to wrap it up, the 4th team is the Raiders, who have Derek Carr.
Yeah.
He's a decent up-and-coming option.
Yeah, the only way that I think that any of these QBs get traded is that the team they go to, they turn around and say, I am not going to take a lot of money.
Right.
Because that's why a lot of people are going, are the Browns going to extend Baker? Yes. That's the answer to that.
And I was just about to think, do Seattle and Texas do a swap? But Russell Wilson's not going to want to go to Texas because they're rebuilding.
Yeah. I mean, Deshaun to Seattle makes sense.
Yeah. But
yeah,
Russell's not going the other way.
No.
He'll veto that trade, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We kind of did this a couple of weeks ago where we were like, oh, well, where do we think Deshaun Watson will end up? And I mean, Seattle might be the best option for him at this point.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to get rid of Wilson, but for Wilson,
where are you going to go?
Well, right, like what? Unless you really sell the Saints on you.
Yeah,
I think the Saints are going to have to bite it.
But the problem is that the only team that's going to get Wilson is going to be the team that goes, like, why would you? And if you're comparing the two, they're very similar styles of quarterback. They are. Mm-hmm. But last year with the Texans team that had nothing offensively, Deshaun was the leading passer. So if I'm the Saints and there's those two on the market, I'm going for Deshaun. Right. And also, Deshaun is probably easier to get hold of because the Texans know that he doesn't want to be there.
And he's younger.
So he's going to be more prolific.
Right.
So that you go, oh, okay, yeah, that deal makes sense.
So I guess the question for the Saints specifically is, do they want to win now? Or they've lost Breeze, are they going to retool for a few years and then come back even stronger again? Because if you're going to retool for a year or two, you go with Deshaun Watson because he's only, 26 or something?
Yeah.
Right? 25, I think.
26. He's not that old.
Whereas if you want to win now with the team you currently have, you think you can do that with somebody a bit younger, a bit more mobile, a bit more
I think
the pocket, you go with Russell Wilson.
A thought that just came into my head, and I don't know, I think I'll pose it to you. Do you think that this is the death of big QB contracts?
No. I think they're going to continue. And there are teams that are going to learn from it and teams that aren't.
Because I don't think the Eagles are ever going to give anyone a contract as big as they gave Carson Wentz. I don't think it's going to happen.
And I think it's going to take a lot, and that's what I mean by certain teams will learn from it and others won't. Because I'll give you an example. There's a couple of goaltenders in the NHL who have $10 million and $10.5 million contracts, which is about 8% of your cap right there gone, because the cap is $80 million.
Yeah, but I can kind of understand that for NHL goalies because
goaltending is valued at about $5 to $8 million.
Yeah, but if you've got a good one, I mean, he's your only guy that is on the ice 100% of the time.
Well, here's the thing. These two contracts, both goalies are not performing anywhere near what they should right now. Carey Price with the Montreal Canadiens has an .893 save percentage, which is horrendous, especially for Carey Price. And then Sergei Bobrovsky is, I think he's doing a little bit better if I just bring up his stats here. Because last year he was brutal. Like last year he was awful. This year, he's 897. Yikes, dude.
It's not good. It's not great.
$10.5 million. This guy has a goals against average of 3.05. So he's letting in, on average, 3 goals a game. And an .897 save percentage. Like, dude, that's $10.5 million. And last year, this guy's stats were, he was a .900 goalie. And And what gets me about this contract too, Sergei Bobrovsky is a very good goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
The year he signed this contract, he was league average, 913 save percentage. That's league average.
I should go into like sports agenting
For
because,
negotiating, yeah.
yeah, because I'd be, I would basically, I think I could win.
Well, I think
Because
you'd have to be a team negotiator, though, not a player
oh yeah,
negotiator.
oh yeah, no, because you'd walk in the room and I'd go, okay, right, what was your save percentage last year?
Yeah.
Average.
900.
Average salary is this.
Right.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay you the average salary, but here's some performance incentives that if you meet, you'll get more money.
Right. Here are some signing performance bonuses so you get more money
Yeah.
if you perform well.
Like if you have a career year, great.
Right.
If we go to the playoffs, even better. And it stacks that way. And
It is
then
interesting because some teams structure the contracts that way, but still end up with a cap hit of like $11 million. Right? Like the Maple Leafs, Matthews, Marner, and Tavares are all about $11 million each for the
But
Maple Leafs,
there's
right?
one more thing, and
But
there's one
the
more thing.
majority of their contract is in signing bonuses.
Yeah, there's one more thing, by the way, that made me laugh. I mean, we're bouncing between sports, but this whole
we'll get back.
Yeah, this whole thing where people turned around and went, "Oh well, teams have offered JJ 10 to 16 million dollars a year," and I was like, that does not matter to him. He's like he is at a point where he is making more money outside of the sport than he's in. I mean, the guy has his own shoe brand. Just like the thing for him and the important thing for him is to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So if your team wasn't in the discussion of doing that or isn't in the discussion going into this year, now you have to pay him enough because he deserves the respect to be paid a decent salary. But I honestly think that you could go, okay, we're going to pay you 5 million, JJ. And when he goes, the fuck? You turn around and go, but every game into the playoff, we're going to pay you £1 million if we win. And then if you win the Super Bowl, there's another 4 in it for you. Because then, well, if I win the fucking Super Bowl, I'm fucking sorted.
Right, because that's what he wants.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
No. And I do think sports in general needs to keep in mind that the aim of the game is to win, not to get paid. You get paid because you're a winner.
Yeah.
Right? Or you get paid it's and I've defended the like specifically back to the Maple Leafs contracts before, where they're being paid for the upcoming performance, right? Which so far is realigning itself with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, I mean, Mitch Marner was terrible when he signed his $10.9 million contract. He was terrible.
Yeah.
Right?
See,
William Nylander signed his $6.9 million contract. He was awful.
Yeah.
Right? It's like these guys sign these massive deals and then stink for like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
And then they figure it out again, and then they're back.
There is one of those things as well that I think that this is one of the big things that I don't think anyone's really realized about Tom Brady. As much as he was an incredible player and is now getting paid some good money, he is still well below what, if you look through the top 10, top 15 highest paid QBs at the moment, he's just about top 10, I think.
Right.
Because when he was in New England, he would take pay cuts so that they could spend money elsewhere. And that made New England a better team.
Well, and he understood as well that if he takes a bit less money, that the team can spend that in other places, but that if they're winning, which it's Tom Brady, so they were always winning, he's going to get money from other places.
He's going to recoup it elsewhere.
Right. He's going to get endorsement deals and sponsorships and all this other stuff because people are going to want to go, Nike is going to say, oh, we want Tom Brady's face associated with our brand.
Yeah.
Right. Except he's a Trump supporter, so that might hurt a bit.
Yeah, no, let's not talk about that. I mean, CTE.
So, well, let's move on. Let's go to the Formula One here, because we've had 4 cars released already.
They all looked exactly like last year's car.
Red Bulls just came out a couple of days ago. Ferrari's team is coming out today, and then the car is coming out on the 10th of March. I'm not sure what they're doing there, but that's
actually things that have been announced over the past couple of days shed light on that, and I will discuss that in a minute.
So that's happened, and then, well, you might as well go with that now.
You sure?
Yeah, the Ferrari stuff.
So, for the first time in my lifetime, in your lifetime, Jared, Ferrari are going to be fighting for an overall win at Le Mans. Not in a class, not in a category division. Overall victory. First car over the line for 24 hours. And they are not doing it in a period of time where it is going to be an easy win. They are not doing it for anything else apart from the fact that they want to do it. They are entering in the hypercar class with a hypercar that they've been developing for the past few years. And they are going up against some stiff competition. At the moment, it is Toyota, Peugeot, Audi, Porsche, Mazda. There's the possibility of Chevrolet. There is the possibility of Ford. Maybe Aston Martin, but they're being big girls' blouses about it. And some others who I'm forgetting at this particular time. But they are going up against the powerhouses. They are going up against Porsche. They are going up against Audi. They are going up against Peugeot. This is the first time since Ford beat them in 1973. Ferrari won 5 Le Mans back to back.
So this is the first time Ferrari's entering this competition since the Ford versus Ferrari film that we all watched a couple of years ago.
After that, they went, we're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
And this is their first time back. And this is what they think they're doing when they're releasing their team. Alpine as well. Renault are doing this as well. They are not... Ferrari Motorsport has always been a connected thing. So for Ford, you have Ford Motorsport, and then every different team that races for Ford elsewhere in the thing is badged differently and different sponsors and stuff like that. With Ferrari, Ferrari is Ferrari.
Yeah.
So the same people that will be working for the Le Mans team will probably also be working for the Formula One team. Ferrari have apparently developed this car. It's going to launch in the 2022 season to race. No one's seen it yet. So there's a car somewhere because they've been developing it for 3 years. But we haven't seen it. Perez doesn't like the Red Bull. What a surprise.
Whoa. It's almost like it's only designed for one driver.
Yeah. Maybe if you're Alex Albon right now, you heard that and basically just had like a victory.
Right.
Like, you'd have a beer, wouldn't you?
Albon's just sat in the back of the Red Bull room of everyone, like all the engineers and everything, and they're listening to Perez going, yeah, it's a bit difficult to drive, and Albon just goes, I told you so, from the back of the room.
Just looking and going, really?
Yeah.
Fucking told you that.
Yeah. Right. It's a big weekend in women's hockey.
Yep.
Because the PWHPA's New York Rangers Dream Gap Tour stop starts tomorrow night. They're playing 2 games in New York. One on Saturday, February the 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at the Pro Tech Ponds Training Center, which I will assume is the New York Rangers Training Center. And then they're playing on Sunday night at 7 o'clock on Madison Square Garden. It's the first time a women's hockey game has ever been played at Madison Square Garden, and MSG is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, hockey arena, as in like iconic hockey arena anywhere now, because some of the older ones have been repurposed, like the like Maple Leaf Gardens and the Montreal Forum. Those have been repurposed now. So Madison Square Garden is known as the hub, the most iconic hockey rink. And this is the first time a women's hockey game has ever been played there. It's the Minnesota or like Minnesota area Adidas team versus the Women's Sports Foundation New Hampshire team. And the way they've done it now is, so it's not like these women just showed up in their area and went, "Oh, I play here. I'm going to play on the New Hampshire team now." No, there's been some training camps. This
They've
wasn't just
actually thought
picked
about
like
it.
that. These teams have been put together based on evaluation and competition to make these teams for this tournament. So it's only 2 games, but I'll just go through some of who's on uh, on these teams. So and they're also hub teams. So like not everybody is necessarily from Minnesota, but a lot of the women on the Minnesota hub team are from Minnesota. And same thing with the New Hampshire area. A lot of them are from New York and whatnot. There's a couple of Canadians in there that live in America. So they're in that area, but there's the goaltender Alex Cavallini from Wisconsin is playing on the New Hampshire roster. And that's more because she's living in the New Hampshire area, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, Alex Cavallini, you've got Amanda Kessel, Haley Skarupa, Brianna Decker, Gigi Marvin, Haley Skamura, who's a graduate of the Burlington Barracudas. Yeah. To name some names on the New Hampshire roster, some names on the Minnesota roster: Danny Cameronese, Kendall Coyne Schofield, of course, Hillary Knight, Annie Pankowski, Kelly Panic. So big names from USA hockey coming together for this game. And I have to pull it up because the the way they're divvying up, so obviously, like I said, it's more of a tournament-esque kind of thing, and points are going to be kept track of throughout this season. So they're slowly making it more and more like an actual league, instead of, because last year it was just, "Oh, we're doing a thing in this area, come watch us play." That was kind of it. So now they've actually injected a significant element of competition into it. And so now we're finally seeing that coming to fruition, which is fantastic.
It gives you a team to start supporting, which is what we've
Right.
said we kind of need.
Right. So you're from the Minnesota area. You've got your Minnesota women, the Adidas Minnesota team to support, right? You're from the New Hampshire area, but you've also got the players, right? So you might be from Wisconsin and end up cheering for the New Hampshire
because there's players
area
from
team because 2 of the top players in women's hockey from Wisconsin are on the team. Now I'm trying to find, I had it a little while ago, and they've come up with, I think it's in here. They've come up with a new scoring system to, I guess, try to make it a bit more even, while also making it more interesting and encouraging goal scoring and unique hockey situations.
Yeah.
So obviously they still have the point system where, a win in regulation is 2 points, but an overtime win is 1.5 points. A overtime loss is actually, you know what? I think I'm already saying it wrong. Hold on. Let me find it officially. Here it is. A regulation win is 2 points. An overtime win is 1.5 points. A shootout win is 1 point. An overtime or shootout loss is 0.5 point. And a regulation loss is 0 points. And that's very different from what the traditional NHL system is, where a win is 2 points, an overtime loss is 1 point, and a regulation loss is 0 points. So you're going to have these like 0.5 point differences between some of these teams now, which is going to be interesting. But then this is where my brain hurts. I tweeted out the gif of Zach Galifianakis and all the math in front of him.
Yeah.
When I read the second half of this, because additional team points can be earned each game when a player scores a hat trick, a goalie records a shutout, a shorthanded goal is scored, or a team scores more than 5 goals in a game. So if you lose a game 6-5, but one of your players scores a hat trick, you'll get a point for it. Right? If you lose in overtime, so we can add to that. If you lose that game 6-5 in overtime and one of your players scores a hat trick, you actually get the same amount of points as the team that won the game if none of those other situations happened. If nobody scored a hat trick or a shorthanded goal was scored. But sorry, teams score 5 or more goals in a game, get 1 point. So both teams will get an extra point because there were 5 or more goals scored by both teams. So each team would end up getting 2.5 points, even though one team won and another team lost. The team that got the overtime win gets 1.5 points plus another point because they scored 6 goals, but nobody got a hat trick. So the team that lost gets 0.5 point, but because they scored 5 or more goals, they get an extra point. And then a player on their team scored a hat trick, so they get another point. So they end up with 2.5 points. So both teams get 2.5 points,
Jared,
despite the fact that one team won and one team lost.
Jared. Right. Okay. Here's what we're going to do with that particular set of rules. Right. We've written them down on this piece of paper. Okay. Yeah. That's what we're going to do with them. You ready?
Yeah, they're there.
What the fuck is that horse shit?
I know, it hurts my brain.
Just if you win, you get a point. If you lose, you don't. Get rid of all this. None of this overtime horse shit. None of this. If you win, you get a point. If you lose, you don't. Don't overcomplicate it. Because now at the end of the season, you're going to be like, oh, well, the Minnesota whatevers are 3 points behind winning the league, but
they only have 5 wins, and the team 3 points behind them has 7.
No. You're going to be like, right, so the whatevers are going into the game. Now, if they win, they win. But if any of these teams get a hat trick and win, then they win.
It's fun and it's ultimate chaos, but it hurts the brain.
Yeah, but you might as well have multi-puck at the end of the game. Like multi-ball.
Just go full NHL 3s where they have money puck. You score a goal, but you get 3 points on the board for it.
Right. The simplest
thing. It hurts the brain. It's fun. I'll say this. It's fun and different.
I don't think a Friday night at 9 o'clock was the time to, because basically you've tried to explain nuclear physics to a tired man. Fucking, you could have explained to me how a duck's arsehole worked, and the same logic would have gone through my brain.
Throw it away.
What?
Yeah. It's going to be very interesting
what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But that takes away
I think they'll have to tweak it so that the winning team still ends up with more points somehow.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to reward performances like that, right? Like to get a shutout, to get a hat trick, this, that, and the other thing. Give a little bit more recognition for personal achievements as well as team achievements. But the team achievement is the win, right?
I can see where you're going with that.
Right.
But the fact that your goalie had a shutout, the benefit from your goalie having a shutout is that you probably won the game.
Well, yeah, you would have, because the team.
That's how that's achieved.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can do individual things. Like if your goalie has a shutout, then they get some. You have your titles. You have a sponsor covering that stuff, right? So this is
Should we get a sponsor to cover that too?
No. So basically, like, the WHPA women's hockey are the officiator, and Nike then go, okay, it's like kind of like the Pro Bowl, like the defensive MVP of the Pro Bowl gets a truck.
Mm-hmm.
So go, okay, if you're a goalie and you have a shutout, you get something from Nike.
Yeah, Nike gets you new Under Armour or something.
Yeah, something like that. Or, I mean, you get a car or something interesting. I don't know. Anyway, we move on to this rules thing and then do the quiz.
It is a bit strange, but it's fun. And the weekend's going to be great because, like I said, it's the first time a women's hockey game has ever been played at Madison Square Garden, the most iconic arena in hockey. They've also come out with a new campaign. It's called it's hashtag stick in the ground, and it's like a flag.
Yeah.
So I get what they're saying. It's like, we're putting our stick in the ground in support of women's hockey, right? We're planting our flag for women's hockey, kind of thing. It's just another it's just another thing to.
Yeah, the thing for me though is that, like, with all these things, you want the other athletes, like, so you want the male athletes to be able to replicate it. So what you want, like, them to be able to do is be able to, like, oh, I've scored a goal or we won, and in support of women's hockey, we're going to do this thing, and you're just going to have a bunch of guys trying to shove their sticks through a layer of ice and concrete. Like that was the whole funny thing, about this Baker Mayfield where he stuck the flag in the Oklahoma field. Yeah, the field was AstroTurf.
Yeah, it's so not going to stick into it.
He stuck the flag in, and then it just fell over.
So you got to make a little pile of snow and then stick your hockey stick into that. It's the concept, okay, Gavin?
I get it. I get the concept, and it'll probably work apart from the biggest stage.
Yeah. Well, they've already posted a nice video with a bunch of NHLers.
Cool.
As a part of it, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid.
I mean, I think they'll just put the stick in on the ice and go, "This is me doing,"
just,
and they'll skate off.
You took it too literally, man. I'm gonna jam it into the ice.
Someone go and get me a power drill. Or
yes.
all the players skating around and going, why are there like inch holes every now and again? They go, oh, that's so that people could do the stick in the ice thing, and you just watch some guy catch one with a skate and just go head over to it.
Bye. Oh my god. This is why This is why we can't be ever taken seriously, because we take something.
That's the reason.
We take something wonderful and take it way too literally.
Wonderful. I like it.
Yeah.
It's very wonderful.
It's going to be good. It already is good. It's already got major traction on social media, and it goes right along with their equal sweat, and they've got the thing that's really smart is that they've got multiple different hashtags that people can keep coming back to now. Right? It's not that they've got one and that's it, right? They've got for the game, they've got equal sweat, and now they've got stick in the ground, right? So I'll be interested to see how this one evolves and what else they kind of do with it, because equal sweat kind of goes with the fact that Secret Deodorant is the main sponsor for the Dream Gap Tour, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'll be interested to see how this one evolves.
Okay.
As more like NHL teams and players, I guess, come behind it. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of the NHL, is that video that I showed you. So, for those that don't know, there was a goal called back with about 2 seconds left in a game on, I believe it was Wednesday night I think it was Tuesday night actually, between the Montreal Canadiens and the Ottawa Senators. It was called back for goalie interference because Matt Murray apparently did not have enough time to reset in the goal as he had been contacted by Brendan Gallagher in his crease. He did not have time to reset in the goal, despite the fact that he had upwards of 5 seconds, like actual recorded time.
So let's break this down. So to me, the first thing I can't understand, one, this rule is way too complex. Just is. 2, what is the definition of reset? Because to me, he gets a light brushing from that guy.
Who's being abused by an Ottawa defender as well.
The guy is on his back.
He gets tackled by the Ottawa defenseman.
He spins and he stops and goes boom. And to me, you're ready to take a goal now. Like, if he's got one leg half up in the air, then no, you're not reset. But if he's in the goal mouth and there's no one touching him,
and this is from a lad who's not regularly watching hockey, trying to get into the sport. And this is, I think, this is one of the problems that hockey continuously has, is that you go so far and then you just have a mind-boggling incident like this, where new fans go, what?
I mean, to me, this is the thing, is that why does a rule need to be a paragraph long?
It doesn't.
Because for me, you could make this rule very easy. You could make it the same as women's lacrosse or men's lacrosse, which is, if an offensive player is in the goalie's crease, the goal does not count. Because then that makes this simple. Because you're not going, is he pinky finger across, or those kind of stuff. You're going, doesn't matter what position the goalie was in. Doesn't matter. Was he in the crease?
So I'll tell you why the NHL got rid of that. Because in the Stanley Cup final, the Dallas Stars were playing the Buffalo Sabres, and Brett Hull, it's very famously recorded, Brett Hull's foot was in the blue paint when a goal was scored that won Dallas the Stanley Cup, and it was not reviewed or called back. Now, this was in the late 90s, so it wasn't commonplace that there was video review. But they got rid of the goal. They got rid of the being in the crease thing to allow for players to still, because people get pushed around all the time in front of the net, right? And that's right there. The example is Nikita Zaitsev literally tackles Brendan Gallagher in front of the net, and the tackling of Brendan Gallagher initiates contact on Matt Murray. The two things that I point out are this, from a person who is well versed in the rules and understands the intricacies of the game and all that garbage. Matt Murray does not need to do a 360. His leg gets pulled to about, if I'm the crease, right? His leg gets pulled to about here. So there's no reason for him to continue all the way around to do a full spin. You push off your left leg back into the goal, and you're still facing forward. So he does a 360 for no reason. And then even so, he's facing the shot when it gets thrown at him. He spins around, faces outward, and is actively looking for the puck. And then the shot comes in. And it gets tipped by the guy that got mauled in front of the net. So
it's a bit of a the thing for me is that you're adding so many layers of complexity. That's from me. Ignore it for the moment being. Because what is the definition of reset?
Yeah.
Where does that sit?
To me, reset is the goalie is facing forward and is
the other thing I don't understand about this is whenever a goal is scored in the NHL, there's that big.
Well, yeah, that's the goal horn. It actually pumps up the crowd.
Yeah. So I always thought that was like of all the sports that it would be the easiest to do. Making it so that when the puck goes in the goal is an electronic thing that sets off a buzzer. I just always assumed that was what that was.
Nope.
So there's someone that sits there and does that.
Yep.
Okay. So why isn't that an electronic thing? Because then what would have happened was the goal would have gone in, it would have gone, and then they wouldn't have had this weird thing where it bounced out and then the guy flicked it back in.
So
because I could wire that up this afternoon.
Oh, I know you could. And they have done that. They've tried with, they've started developing pucks with chips in them. But players have all complained about them because they're different. They feel different. Because they're not just solid vulcanized rubber, right? There's a piece in it. So it's changed the consistency and the weight of it.
I guarantee you you could make that in it with the amount of money the NHL can make. You could make that in a way where where it doesn't notice.
Oh yeah, probably.
FIFA have done it with footballs.
No, I know. I know. They haven't done it yet. They're not. They've done it, but they're not committing to doing it because it's not.
Because you do it in a way that there would never be any registration of it being a puck, because you can inductive charge things now, so you don't need a charger hole.
Right.
And then basically you pour the puck, and before the mold of the rubber sets, you just force a chip in.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, an RFID tag, which is literally a piece of tape.
Yep.
You put tape in it, put a register on the top of the goal. It's not going to affect anyone.
Oh, but then you have to pay for all those registers on top of goals, and how many pucks do you go through in a season, and the blah. Right. I know. Those are the excuses. I know. Don't get it. Don't.
Guy that messes with a ball.
Don't do it. Don't do it. You're just gonna get mad. My last thing about this is that they always reference incidental contact with the goaltender is allowed as long as the player makes a conceded effort to avoid contact. The reason that Brendan Gallagher makes contact with Matt Murray is because he's being mauled by Nikita Zaitsev to the point where Brendan Gallagher falls. But Brendan Gallagher falls, gets back up, finds the shot that's coming in, and tips it past Matt Murray. He was fully on the ground, got back up, and found the puck. Matt Murray didn't even fall. He was on his knees. And you're telling me that he didn't have enough time to reset?
I mean, you're an NHL goalie. Part of your job is going to be that people are going to hit you and you need to be able to get back in position properly.
Right.
It's a difficult one. This whole reset thing is the problem for me because we both played goal in lacrosse. We both played goal in sports. There's not like to me after a shot would happen in lacrosse. The only thing that I would consider was a reset was I would touch each side of the goal to make sure I was central, and then I'd go, yeah, I'm central. But for me, as soon as he's back up on his skates,
right.
And he's kneeled down in the position where the goalies are.
Well, and the other thing is that Matt Murray doesn't make an effort to get back up on his skates. He spins around on his knees and then just stays on his knees. He doesn't get back up on his skates.
Yeah, I imagine that an NHL goalie could get up on his skates fucking instantly.
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I think that'd be a drill. Like, right, you're on your knees. Up.
Yeah. Several different drills. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I don't know. I don't understand.
It's when you're having to have a conversation about the rules and not the game itself, that's a problem.
Right, and I think you sound like a broken record because we've said that how many weeks in a row now?
Yeah.
Just because we're talking about rules and not the game itself. By the way, Montreal ended up losing that game in overtime to Ottawa, and they fired their head coach.
So this is one of the things that I want to say. So this is one of the reasons that a lot of teams have turned around and said they're going to do this Le Mans thing. Now, Formula One is so stringent on rules. I've been given a formula. We had one at university. They sent us one, which is a Formula One technical manual of what is the rules.
Right.
And it is about 5 inches thick. I mean, triple that at least. It's huge.
Just to give you an idea, though, these are the Hockey Canada rules.
Mm-hmm. So the rules for this Le Mans thing are: the fuel has to be a liquid at the moment.
It's helpful.
Yep.
I feel like solid fuel would be difficult.
Yes. You have to have. If a team turns up with an electrical entry, they will have it. But no team yet has got an electrical battery that can last 24 hours, or a way of charging a battery that lasts 24 hours.
It's a long time.
Yes. It has to have 4 wheels.
Oh, good. Yes.
And there is
not 6 or 12.
No. There is a limit on how much horsepower you can make.
Right.
How much horsepower you can make from electric power. And that's about it. You have to meet some safety regulations. The safety regulations being your driver has to be in a roll cage. The car can't be there's basic stuff like don't run your fuel line. Like the cars, it has to be a car that wouldn't kill its owner. And you have to sell 100. You have to sell 25 road cars a year.
It's pretty basic rules.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's great.
That's it.
Well, I'm really looking forward to that, and I know we both are. We're going to see what Ferrari gives us, but we'll bring in the Quizmaster now.
I can't even. I'm so fucked.
Yeah,
mate.
don't do it.
Yeah, things are happening.
Yes, things are happening, and because I couldn't trust you not to be idiots with your names, I believe I have made it so that you're gonna get given PG names.
Wait, why do I have to spin? I want Crazy Tiger. Why do I have to spin?
I don't make the rules on Kahoot.
Prairie Cheetah? No, I don't want Prairie Cheetah. That's terrible.
Oh my god, that's better than anything.
Amiable Puffin? That's worse.
You only get a certain amount of spins and then you stop.
I know. All right, apparently I'm a helpful pelican.
You are helpful.
We both went duck. That's quite good.
Yeah, we're both foul.
That's pretty out for this week's podcast.
Right, are we ready?
Yep.
Right, I apologize now if I mispronounce anything. So this is Gavin's quiz this week, and it is on the theme of racing, mostly Formula One. So what 24-hour sports car race was originally called the Grand Prix de Vitesse de Droite? Completely butchered that, so I apologize.
I pressed the wrong button.
Click the wrong one. We were just talking about it.
Ladies and gents, Gavin got a question wrong.
We were just talking about it too.
I know.
Jared's in the lead.
Yes.
I'm too tired.
We'll see if he does. He's going. Who has the most wins even in Formula One out of the below? Yeah, Lewis Hamilton. I would expect you both to know that.
I knew the first one. I just pressed the wrong button.
That's your own fault then, isn't it?
Wrecked.
So number 3, which Grand Prix had a streak of 10 different winners from 10 different races between 2007 and 2016?
Damn.
No, neither of you got that right. It was the Spanish.
So it was 10 different winners each year, or in a decade.
Yeah, so it was a different winner for every race.
Okay. I went with Australia because that's always the first one of the year.
And everybody's a little like, woo.
Yeah, a little confused.
A little what? Sorry, Jared?
I'm not saying it again.
Damn it. Number 4, which British motor racing circuit was the world's first purpose-built motor racing circuit? It was Brooklands.
There's also there's only 4 miles of it left, and there's a museum. It's very good. I've been there.
Never heard of these 4 words.
You've heard of
5.
Brands Hatch. You've heard of Brands Hatch. Gavin goes on about it like every week, at least.
I've been to all.
That doesn't surprise me, Gavin. But no, seriously, next time you come back to the UK when
I can.
Yeah.
has passed, yeah, we need to take you to these. I'm surprised you've not heard of any of them. So Gavin has now overtaken Jared, but we will see if he can maintain his lead throughout the rest.
I'm just annoyed at myself, to be honest. That's the person I've let down most in this so far.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what to say. Both me and Joe were nodding then.
Yeah, that's okay.
So what does the white flag mean in F1?
What?
No.
Knew that. Damn it.
It means slow moving vehicle.
Yeah, it's because the Yanks use it.
Yeah, in NASCAR, it means final lap.
It did say Formula One in the question, didn't it?
Yeah. You were right. I was just being a dumbass.
No, you made me panic then. I thought I didn't put what discipline of motorsport it was referring to. Name this corner.
Oh, God.
Gavin tried to cheat on this yesterday, but he got it wrong.
Spar, Gavin, you fucking shit. I
might just do more racing ones just to see Gavin's reaction.
God, I just realised that 2 of them aren't even fucking corner names.
It's the Nuremberg. Is the Nuremberg
Nürburgring.
one? Yeah,
Nürburgring. That I know how to pronounce.
Nürburgring isn't even the name of the circuit. It's the location. Fucking idiot, Gavin.
So Brunchen is not a corner name then.
No.
Damn.
Neither is Knickerbrook, the name of the bar, and Ascari Monza, the name of 2 circuits.
Also, Nickelbrook is a local Burlington brewery.
I literally couldn't give less of a fuck.
Hey, they make nice beer. Maybe they'll sponsor us. They won't now because you just ruined them.
If they want to sponsor us, I will officially apologize.
Oh no, they should just give you like a beer coaster or something, just going, we don't care about your opinion. Or fuck you, Gavin. That would be even better.
Yeah.
For number 7, name this circuit.
Oh, well.
I mean, technically that's wrong.
Isn't that that's a version of it, isn't it?
No, you have the Nürburgring is the name of the town. You have the Nürburgring Nordschleife. We have the Nürburgring Club Circuit. But yeah.
Does it not say circuit in the name? So let's presume I'm referencing to the circuit name. So you both got points on that round. Congratulations. Gavin is still in the lead, but only just. So we'll see if Jared can pull back to, well, overtake Gavin in this quiz again.
As I'm munching on blueberries.
The Marina Bay Street Circuit is the street circuit for which country's Grand Prix?
Yes! Yeah!
Well done, Jared. Proud of you, bud. Again, both of you got points on that round. Gavin still maintaining the lead, but only just.
I should be at least to a fucking head.
Keyword there being should.
Hush.
How many points are awarded to the race winner of each F1 Grand Prix?
What year?
Oh.
Yes.
25. You're gonna be pedantic. Go on.
I'm not.
I can see it building up inside you. I can see it hurting. So be pedantic. Let's get it over with.
Technically, it's 26 because you can get fastest lap and win the race.
Well, yeah, but that's not including fastest lap.
It's just winners'
It's just
points.
for race win.
You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
In the background, just you're eating blueberries instead of popcorn.
Yes.
Sebastian Vettel won the F1 Championship in 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2013 with which racing team? It was Red Bull.
I took too long with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not too long, though. Yep. You have a streak of 4 correct answers in a row. Congrats, bud. But not too bad. You are still only just behind Gavin.
Let's go!
What is the nickname of Ferrari?
Balls.
Ooh. It is the Prancing Pony. Gavin shaking his head.
See, when I look at the Prancing Pony, I just think of the inn in Lord of the Rings.
It's Lord of the Rings, yeah.
I mean, it is the prancing horse.
Would you like to be pedantic again?
No. Just go to the next question.
Okay. The Hungarian Grand Prix became a part of the F1 World Championship during which decade? It was the 1980s.
Yeah!
Oh, does that mean, Jared's in the lead? Gavin, bud.
Oh, boy.
Right, I'll quickly move on to the next question for you, Gavin. What must a racer do when he or she sees a blue flag during a practice session or race?
Oh.
No, they must slow down and block all vehicles behind them.
It's a rare one.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't even know a blue flag existed until that question popped up. Like,
So,
no.
would that be like in a situation where there's a crash in front of?
Yeah, like where
them?
they can't get the safety car to that location, the lead driver then operates as the safety car.
Right.
That's why they all have to have the radio for their team as well as the radio for the race directors.
Right.
Just in case shit really hits the fan.
Yes.
So question 14, when a red and yellow stripe flag is waved, the stripes run in what direction? To help you out, Gavin, vertical, horizontal.
Yes.
They are vertical. They are vertical.
I hate this podcast.
No, you don't.
Oh god.
Just hate him. Because
Oh,
he
you
didn't
hate
know
him.
that.
No,
He
I didn't know that. Absolutely not.
I'm going to move on. If a few drivers set identical lap times, then who would get the win? Who would get priority? So if a few drivers set the same lap time, who would get priority? The driver who set the lap time first. Gavin, are you all right, bud?
No. This is a
I'll
good
do the next one. It is a good quiz, did you say? What did you say?
Yes, it's a good quiz.
Good. I'm glad that it's not just very one-sided, because I didn't want to do easy questions, because I know you'd know all the easy questions.
Why not?
In F1, which flag signifies that there is one more lap to go before the race ends? Correct. There is no flag. You just continue.
You blame the Americans for confusing both of us.
Yeah, I don't understand why they do that.
Right, they come out with the white flag and they're like, oh, one lap left.
Well, I think it's because you have the Indy 500 that takes all day. People get confused of what lap is what.
And then NASCAR, that's just 500 droning laps of the same oval.
Yeah, it's a bit baffling.
It's probably for the sake of the drivers. They just look up and see the white flag and go, thank God.
It's finally over.
It's almost over.
Well, so the Indy 500 is literally 500 miles.
Yeah.
And the circuit is only about 3 miles long.
Depending on where you do it, there's an IndyCar race in Toronto. But I don't know if it's
about the fact that I said the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, that one specifically.
Miles. Yeah, no, the rest of them aren't that long.
Right.
But I mean, some of the drivers have food given to them in the cars.
I mean, I'd like snacks if I was in the car for that long. I'd like snacks. Right, I will move on to the next question because both of you look like you want to kill each other.
Oh, I'm fine.
Which is the longest circuit in F1 at 25.8 kilometers?
Current?
As far as I'm aware. I'm worried now.
Yeah,
because the Nürburgring Ring's not a current circuit.
Nürburgring.
Yeah.
It is Pescara.
I don't know any of this.
I think that just makes it worse.
This is how I felt when we did the first one. That was just like interesting facts that you were just getting.
Yeah. I'm just...
How many tyre manufacturers has there been since 1950 for F1?
In F1?
As far as I'm aware, in F1.
I mean, there's only
And no,
one.
I don't know all the names.
This is a guess. Okay.
9. I don't know all the names, and I probably wouldn't be able to pronounce them anyway.
Well, it used to be Michelin and Pirelli, and then...
Well, doesn't Pirelli still do it?
No.
Yeah, but this is going back to the 1950s, remember?
Yeah. Michelin turned up to a race in America and the tyres exploded and the Pirellis didn't. So all the Michelin cars weren't able to race. So
they just went with Pirelli.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw one set of tyres explode and the other one not, wouldn't you turn around and go, I want those ones?
Don't really feel like those.
No.
I don't like those. Bad vibes. So, penultimate question. Which of these 4 countries has hosted the most F1 World Championship races? It is Canada.
What?
Apparently.
There's one in Canada.
Yeah, but the Montreal Grand Prix has been around for a long time. Okay. And they used to do one in Edmonton too, I think.
Yeah.
So no points that round. And we're on to the final question. Which F1 driver wore this helmet? If you do not get this, Gavin, I will go into the other one and slap you.
I know it, but why couldn't we have done 19 questions on this? Because I would have got every single one.
Oh, yeah.
It is Lando Norris.
Yes! Woo!
So, with 8 out of 20, we have Gavin. And then with 12 out of 20, we have Jared. Congratulations, Jared.
8 out of 20, man. It's rough.
I think he may have died.
Yeah, I think he's gone. Don't worry, Gavin. I have a present for you that I'm going to link to in a minute. No, it's a fun present. Also, you can't do that. That's offensive.
You should just put, like, happy face emoji over it.
Yeah, that requires me to do extra editing.
Fair enough.
I think what we should do is that we should now... the quiz master needs to be quizzed.
On what?
So I should do a quiz. You'll have to teach me. I should do a quiz for you two, and then Jared should do a quiz for me and you.
On what?
On our chosen topic.
That's sport related, not just random crap, yeah?
Yeah, there is a so I will do a one on interesting motorsport stuff that I like.
Yeah, that's fair. That's what I've been doing for these.
You mean we're gonna have 2 motorsport quizzes in a row?
Well, no, but then I mean.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do another motorsport. It can't be on motorsport for you.
Okay.
Gavin's idea just went. Phew.
No, I could do a quiz. I could do a quiz on sport.
Is it on rugby?
No, I'm going to do it on obscure, weird sports.
Like cricket,
like
and
ultimate
pole
frisbee.
vaulting.
No. Like I'm going to like.
It's not obscure.
I'm going to have questions on like the official rules of hot dog eating competitions.
It's pretty obscure in North America. I'll tell you that.
Is that a sport?
Yeah.
Hot dog eating is not a sport, Gavin.
needs to be governed by a set of rules and have a national governing body. And if there is a national governing body of eating hot dogs, can you imagine like introducing yourself at like a sport conference or an official event and just going, yes, I am the match director of hot dog eating competitions.
It's not a sport. Just like chess isn't a sport, darts isn't a sport.
I'd argue chess and darts are.
No, those are skills.
I'll say.
So there is
need
an official
skill
world
to
body for competitive eating.
No, not a sport.
That's not competitive hot dog eating, though, is it, bud?
Not a sport.
Can we end the podcast, please? Because I'm very tired. I've just lost a quiz about Formula One and stuff to Jared. I haven't got my car. And I need to pee.
Yes.
By my definition, a sport requires physical athleticism to some degree. If all you need to do is
Well, so my logic is that the one that people always argued with me was that it had to be in the Olympics. If it had been in the Olympics, then it was a sport.
Nope, not necessarily.
No, or else we would be here bloody forever if every single sport in human history was in the Olympics. We would be here forever.
What do we not consider a sport that's been in the Olympics?
I mean, you lot
Don't
tried
you mean
to
that
make
the other way
ballroom-
around?
You lot tried to make ballroom dancing into an Olympic sport.
I mean, not us specifically.
Figure skating.
Figure skating takes a significant amount of athleticism.
But by the same argument, does ballroom dancing.
Not even slightly remotely the same.
Take skates off.
You strap a couple of blades on your feet with picks on the front of them, and then do 4 turns in the air in about 1.2 seconds and land on one leg gracefully and without falling on your face and breaking it on the ice.
Okay.
That's why it's a sport. Ballroom dancing takes physical athleticism, and you can make it a sport if you'd like, but it's not anywhere on the same level whatsoever.
No, but it is still, it takes a level. I can understand that one not being a sport. I can get that. But what else?
I would say ballet is more of a sport than ballroom dancing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. But what else is there what else is there that hasn't been what hasn't been in the Olympics but's a sport?
It's difficult to think of something off the top of my head.
Because rugby has...
Is cricket in the Olympics?
Yes, cricket has been in the Olympics.
Okay, yeah.
But then, I mean, cricket comes under the same thing as, like, baseball, and to me.
Pole and hoop fitness.
Huh?
They hold pole and hoop fitness. I don't know the actual proper competitive term for it. But my God.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the reason that they haven't been in is because they haven't been around as sports for as long. So I think
that
those
makes any difference. It's been around for quite a long time.
No, he's just saying that it hasn't, that because, like, that's the reason it hasn't got in yet.
Yeah. It's not a thing of if, it's a thing of when.
Well, yeah. But you told us to mention a sport that hasn't been in the Olympics. I think I've done that.
Mm-hmm.
Not
I
that
would agree.
it hasn't been in it yet.
True. I mean, break dancing's coming into the Olympics too, right?
Yeah. I think the thing with pole fitness is that it's effectively, it would come under a gymnastics discipline. That's the thing for me.
I would put it into the gymnastics department. Yeah.
Fair enough. You have to do a set routine to music, I believe that, and you are judged on the perfection of the moves that you do.
Yeah, there's technical implications and whatnot. That's where I come into the athleticism. Darts takes no athleticism whatsoever. Chess takes no athleticism whatsoever.
I can agree with you on chess.
Yeah.
No, chess I count as a sport because it also, as part of the official definition for sport, requires skill. Chess playing chess being strategic?
So
How is that any different to any other comparable sport?
My thing
Because it requires skill.
My thing would be that do you separate your Olympians and Paralympians? Because you don't for chess.
Right. The official definition doesn't say, it says physical exertion.
Correct.
Moving a piece from one place to another is physical exertion. Okay, my sport of target shooting, for example, I stand there and do that.
Yes,
but I still have physical exertion. No, to a person on the outside, it looks like I'm standing still, which, fair enough, I partially am. But I have got to engage my core, maintain my balance, etc. And that is a sport.
There's two different variants of shooting. You don't shoot under the same rules and conditions as Paralympians, do you? That's separated. Whereas in chess, the same people that play chess as fully able-bodied people will play chess against people that have disabilities.
Yeah, we're on two different points here.
Yeah.
You're still on the separation between Olympic and Paralympic athletes.
I can see why they don't. Separate if they. Can I finish my sentence now?
Yes.
Zoom's fun.
I'm the host now. I can mute you, and there's nothing you can do about it, and you won't be able to turn yourself back on.
He could just run into your room, though.
Yeah,
that's a very good point. But yeah, I can see why they combine Paralympic and Olympic chess, because from a competitive aspect, it doesn't matter. There's no disadvantage to be had from combining the two.
Well, and what I'll say about your shooting is that you just basically answered to my point, though, where there are muscles in your body that are engaged to make sure that the skill you're performing doesn't go over this way because of the kickback of the gun.
That's shotgun, but yeah.
Various,
because there's nothing. The thing for me, the only way that you could apply that to chess would be if people lost points, if the piece wasn't put in the right place. But when people when they play chess at Olympic level, whatever, but when they play at a competitive level, if you can't move your hands, you can have someone that moves the piece for you in chess.
Yeah, it's not a physically exerting thing to do.
No. I can understand the element.
I can sit and play a board game and and my heart rate's not going to go up.
No,
but it's not saying that it has to meet a certain level of physical exertion. It just says that there needs to be a form of physical exertion.
That's why I would classify that.
If you
lifting a chess piece isn't a physical exertion.
You can sub out the physical exertion to someone else and it not affect the game, then I don't think it classifies. Because if I sat here and played a game of chess against Jared, and then I sat here and told someone where I wanted them to put the pieces, the game of chess would still go the same way. Because my physical input of moving the piece would not input the game.
Now there's the whole esports thing, but that's not esports. Isn't like the word sport in esports isn't so in the definition of physical exertion. It's of the competitive.
So for me, it depends on the game. So the real-time strategy games and games where you're just pressing a button, they to me are more like in the chess aspect
skill,
whereas some of the racing games and with argument some of the competitive shooters, because the racing games they are still sat there with a steering wheel.
Yeah, they have the whole setup usually, right?
Yeah, and the talented guys, you should watch World Fastest Gamer, but the guy that is one of the best, if not the best e-driver, because the wheel still has the force feedback, the pedals still have the feedback. they translate very well to, I mean, the guy who was the world's
fastest simulation, basically.
Yeah. And then it's been shown that the controller reacts at the same speed, but there are people with fast twitch muscle fibers that are able to move the controller faster, which means they're better at first-person shooters. So those ones come into something separate. The others I would band in almost like a kind of a chess strategy, a chess kind of thing, where it is a skill. There is no, I mean, pressing the buttons at a set time and all that kind of stuff does have a small influence. But I think that, let's say Dota 2 or Skycraft or something like that, one of these big online competitive games, yes, you pressing buttons and stuff like that at a set time does affect the game. But especially with Dota, which is a online strategy kind of game, there are people with disabilities that play that with voice activation that do just as well.
And that's kind of why esports is its own
I think
so that you don't have to classify the different video games into different whatevers.
I think esports will become I think there will be more of esports becoming bigger and bigger.
Yeah, people love it.
I mean, I watched some of the competitive stuff recently because it is a lot more engaging. Because it's in the virtual world, they can have however many camera angles they want. The production value is a lot lower. It's a lot cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
I think it will be more and more to the future because I think our generation have grown up on video games.
However, I don't think physical sports activities will ever be replaced, but I think this conversation could be extended to another episode because we do have to end.
Yeah.
And so we wish better luck next week to specifically Gavin for knowing more about his own sport, and to all the losers out there, because Gavin's one of them today once more.
I fucking hate you.